St Mary's Priory, Binham, was founded in the late 11th century. The priory was endowed with the entire manor of Binham, making the prior the lord of the manor, together with the tithes of 13 other churches in Norfolk. Originally it had 8 monks, rising to, say, 13 or 14 by the late 14th century, but quickly fell back to 6 immediately before its suppression in the year 1539. At the suppression of the monastery, the king appropriated all of the buildings belonging to the monks, and these were sold to a Thomas Paston. His grandson, Edward Paston, pulled them down to reuse the stone, and this included all of the church, except for that part used by the parish, the cloister, and all of the surrounding conventional buildings. These became ruinous, and even the aisles were demolished. The main arcades are visible on the exterior and were blocked up to contain the space used as the parish church. The church today is allegedly haunted by a monk in a black cowl, and underneath the ruins allegedly run secret tunnels following ancient ley lines. It is said that the fiddler once entered the now lost tunnel entrance and could be heard playing from deep underground until the music suddenly stopped. The fiddler was never seen again. Today we're at Binham Priory in Norfolk, quite a journey from where we normally base from in Essex, but this journey has been worthwhile. This beautiful 11th century Benedictine priory, and the remnants of which have been turned into a church, and it's the church and grounds today that we're visiting and investigating, so hopefully we may capture something worthwhile which we can share with you later. Thank you for joining us. You pick anything up at all, Dee? What did you experience a bit earlier?
Well, you were just out on a break, and while I was sort of messing around with the camera doing some filming, there was something sort of passed by me in the doorway at the top of the church, and it just felt like there was someone there.
Cool. Well, as I say, I'm just about to open up and see what I can pick up too. Yeah. This church can be rather noisy at times, with mostly cyclists popping in and out of the building at infrequent times, so we may be interrupted today, but already I can start to feel presences here, mostly of a monastic nature, and perhaps one or two influences from later periods. So what I'm going to do now is tap in and see whether or not we can elicit any kind of response from this beautiful building. No sooner had I spoke when a constant trickle of visitors began streaming through the door, and for some minutes afterwards. The only thing is, I can feel a lot of energy around. I can't put that energy to names or descriptions. There's too much background noise from people visiting. But the place is very, very energised, and particularly towards the chancel end of the church. But that's typical in most churches that we've been into, because that is the core area of prayer and devotion and dedication to their belief. And of course, it draws that kind of energy through, which you can feel within the substructure of the building. Here it's getting stronger. here, just over here, towards this doorway. Now here I can feel a very small man, dressed in, it looks like grey robes, possibly a monk. And that's very clear, very tiny man, no bigger than that. Big wide flip-flop, plimps, or not plimsolls, sandals they used to wear. Yeah, kind of scruffy as well. This is an absolutely wonderful building. There is so much energy, it's so vibrant with what's going on in here. But of course, being a public building, I've just seen an orb, a big flash across here. There was a really large flash of white energy which came from the corner of the doorway here by this column and went straight across the back as I was filling something. As I was saying, the energies in here are truly remarkable. It's a very powerfully charged building. But of course, being a public building, there are a lot of visitors which come here, and it's perhaps not the best place for any kind of investigation, but it's certainly a worthwhile and interesting building to visit if you have the opportunity. And we have the opportunity today, so we'll see what we get. There is quite residual energy here, quite strong actually, just in this corner. Very young person. Young person, yeah, definitely. 14, maybe 15, boy. I'm thinking more of rickets or something that this person died from. But nothing more than that, but it's difficult, as you can appreciate today, with the amount of people that come in through. But quite strong there, definitely. Just going to sit here for a second. Very solidly male presence here, definitely, in this building. You know? Very, very strong. Man in grey is how it comes across, yeah? Absolutely powerful energy. I would think something like a guardian, or perhaps something at that level, something that feels very safe and very protective, you know? Very, very powerful, very, very powerful, but kindly energy. Considering its age, the monks still have a very strong presence here, I feel, don't you? Yeah, yeah, across towards the chancel end, which seemingly looks older, doesn't it, than other parts of the building. Mostly around here, yes? It always kind of grabs you. As you walk to this corner, you feel like there's somebody saying, stop, you know? Just here. It's really weird. And if you walk across here, you just have that impression of a constant flow of people going in and out of this doorway all the time. Very strange. Now here I feel pity, sadness. I don't know why, but I do. I feel a sadness. I can't define what the sadness is for and for whom and by whom, but I can certainly feel that here. Maybe associated with this, it looks like a refectory table, but it's a much later piece, 17th century, I would say.
I've just had an old man that's quite modern. It's nothing to do with medieval or...
Yeah.
White beard.
Possibly. I mean, there's all kinds of influences that are popping in and out.
We're not talking about someone who's really, really old, you know, as in as old as this church or beyond. This, I can feel someone who's a little bit more used to come here.
Yeah, made for devotions and prayer. Yeah, well, yeah. Sadly, we're coming to the end of our time here today, but it has been a worthwhile visit. I mean, for sure, wandering into this wonderful building where we're standing towards the chancel end of the church, and particularly towards this side here, there is a lot of energy and influences that we've tapped into. On the far side of the church by some prayer benches, I felt the presence of a boy, but here, very strong influence of a monk in grey. I don't know what colours the Benedictines wore, but I see these as grey habits. And over here, by the chancel end of the church, a very warm and loving energy, a very, very powerful presence, which I also felt when I sat in the pews. I'm just going to get Dee over to give her interpretation on what she's actually picked up here today.
Yes, I actually felt an older gentleman. He had a white beard, seemed a bit more modern of today, wasn't actually somebody I felt that was years and years ago. Seemed quite, I felt he actually sat on the front of these pews over here, and it was fairly recent. That was mainly the visual that I got with this gentleman. I've just felt lots and lots of energy like Chris over here. I did actually see like a shadow walk past me, and then just as Chris came in, he actually felt a very strong energy over by the screen, so it could have been the same person, but there's definitely a very strong energy in here, definitely.
Well, that's it, unfortunately, for today. I hope you've enjoyed our brief visit to Binham Priory. And, of course, as always, coming away from a site like this, although I've seen energy here today, whether that translates into electronic voice phenomena or other type of anomaly remains to be seen. And, of course, is only ever discovered on editing. But it's been a thoroughly amazing visit here today. A long journey, 2.5 hours. But having said that, one I feel was worthwhile, especially for the wonderful architecture of this building, and of course, Deanne's company.
Thank you. Hello.